Alrighty, Roo, and cuckoo choo to you, and all my nobody's not watching out there. I almost didn't figure this out. I almost was like, what the fuck am I even fucking talking about? I'm just like, I just wanted an opportunity to talk about Erica Ishii. No, that's not what it was. I actually had a decent reason, and I needed to give some context, but I kind of got distracted by the context, which is something that I do, and whatever. Let's move on before I get distracted by the context again. The context was I started following Erica Ishii, and then I saw her and all the cool little clip thingy that she had. As I've known her for not known her, I've known of her for a while, but I don't really follow. I don't use Twitter anyway. Not important. What's important is I was like, how have I not been following her? I thought I already followed her before. And I scrolled down past the thing I talked about with the cool little, like, edit clip of her voice acting parts and the other stuff she's done. Not just voice acting, but acting and stuff. And I got distracted with that part. But there was another thing that I think she was replying to, like a tweet that she was replying to, or someone was replying to her tweet. I don't know. I don't remember. But I remember the context was basically like her talking about doing voice work, like VO work for like a video game or something. And she might have been replying to somebody else, or they were replying to her, or something. Either way, the basic premise was, oh yeah, no, it's like it's really cool to do like voice work and stuff, but like the reality is, think of okay, so think of there's a line you have, do it at least 3 times, then do 3 different versions of that line 3 times, then do 3 different versions outside of those 2 versions that are completely different of that line, then at least like 17 versions of you dying, sometimes specific with like direction, sometimes generic, this many things of you being hurt or damaged, this many times of you being angry, some really specifically painful, like you have to dig deep, hardcore truth shit, fucking acting, important moments, and then do those all again, every single thing 3 times at least, if you're lucky. I mean, just by not 3 times, like, oh, you got it on the first take, but like you do it until you get the right one, and there's 3 versions of it. And it's just like my brain was like kind of like, I don't math good, but I can sort of like realize the math. And then there was a person replying to it or they were replying to, that was like it was just even more. They're like, oh, would you like to write for video games? Okay, well, here, submit this for that. And it's just like, and they put it like way shorter and like more concisely. And it was just like, oh wow, okay, that's exponential. That's like that's yeah, it's like, like she was just sort of saying, that's my experience, is that yeah, this is sort of how that works. And like in reality, this person was, I don't think, exaggerating. I think that they were probably saying this is what could be necessary from the writer's standpoint, and she was sort of looking at it from the voice actor standpoint, who happens to be a talented voice actress who does a very good job. Actor, actress, I don't know how they would like to be referred in that case, but they're a good VO artist. Yeah. And acty. They're a good voice acty. That's the way I'm gonna put it now. That could be even worse. But, and I was just like, oh wow, you did good if you don't have to deal with all that. And then, but the writers have to sit here and like, like more than like 3, 4, 5 times what Erica was talking about. And like, because they were talking about their individual experiences for stuff. And again, remembering partially the things that I know about the characters they've played, I only have like one, maybe two games that they're in, and I've seen them in the Love, Death, and Robots thing, which is more, I think, more akin to it doesn't have the same variation. There would still be variation, just like you would. I feel like if you're in something digital and CGI, they're more likely to sort of like work with the editing process more so because they're already having to pay for it. And it's like you might as well just take the time to have like, I don't know that that's how that works. I don't know how that business works, especially when it comes to that. But I just feel like no, have them give you 3 every time, and then it doesn't have the branching pathways. But my point was basically the branching pathways, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, writers of this game, that I love the world of, that I love the IP of, that you got that you made this thing of it, and that you couldn't. There's no voice acting here. There's static character drawn things. The most dynamic aspect of this entire game is the backgrounds, which are, they're somewhat changing, sometimes way more than others, but the reality is I'm confident that's a thing that's happening and does happen all the time, to kind of give the thing life and make it not just seem like a basic cheap dating sim sort of thing, because it's not, and give it a little more realism. But that seems like where the most effort is taken. Now again, I don't remember playing my other character named Tyler, and I'm pretty sure that character was probably a Bruja named Tyler, and I only got to day 12, I think. But I know that it still follows very similarly, as far as Kadir will kill you if you fuck around and find out. Sophie is the person who is your only option for salvation, so you gotta choose that. And the general story is still the same, but who you put in your coterie and the in-between nights, that's all that. Do you have to have a coterie of 3? No. I got lucky and they let me get that in, and I'm not sure I'm happy with my coterie, but it is what it is. You have certain things you have to do along the way, but there's side quests, and I don't know how important they are, but I don't think they matter that much, based on just... I tried not to ruin it for myself or spoil it, but I just don't think they matter that much. But there could be one that's super important, that because I didn't do, I'm gonna be fucked. I don't know. But this time I played a Toreador, and I think I've done okay for the most part. But my point is, there's so many times where it's like you see something and you're like, that doesn't look like that makes sense. There's like a split level of it, like in a literary sense, like the things you're saying don't jive, they're not equivalent, they don't make sense, they don't flow properly from the last thing. And I think that's beyond the fact that this is a game from another place that has been translated, because I get the feeling they probably took the effort to not all your base are belong to us sort of the thing. I just think that there was a time crunch, budget crunch, and they didn't put as much effort into the writing, which I would assume if I were the one making this, and I don't know anything about the video game industry when it comes to production, I wouldn't want... I would be like... I would rather be like, show the choose your own adventure thing. Like, do that. Like, show me that, and some, like, have somebody do some basic, storyboarding and stuff, and I'll go from there. I'm not going to just throw a bunch of money at you and say you can have the use of the IP unless we have to do so. Like, like, oh, Marvel used to, like, Sony had to make Spider-Man or do Fantastic Four or whatever, because if they didn't do it every so often, then they would lose it. So a lot of times they would pump out crap or whatever, or they just had to pump it out. It doesn't seem like that's the case here. It seems like they made a low-budget game, and they just needed... I don't know. I'm trying not to be too critical of it. It's just... It's not even that great for a choose-your-own-adventure sort of thing. It's not that I play a lot of these things. Like, honestly, I was trying to play, fucking, the Literature Club game, like, whatever it was, Doki Doki Literature Club. Even though I already kind of know the twist and that, because I couldn't avoid it. It was such a big thing for such a long time, but it was too expensive, and I was like, nah, fam, I'm good. I'll play this, I already have it. It was the closest I could get, and, I played other things that have this sort of aspect to them where they, do this. It's just, the writing, even when it makes sense, is not great. And then when it doesn't, it's jarring. And yeah, I'm just saying, like, I was trying to originally reference that tweet that either Erika Ishii was replying to, or somebody was replying to them or something. And it was just like talking about like how you got to write all these different things for a game. And it just seems like they took the least amount of effort to do what is actually the majority of the game. Like, it's the big part. Like, a lot of people aren't going to fucking care about the backgrounds. A lot of people aren't going to care that the characters look one way or another, or that they're static. I'm just kind of going through it, thinking about it. I'm caring about the gameplay and how it's annoying that certain things aren't, like, I don't know how much I need to feed. I don't know how damaged I am. I don't know this. I don't know that. There's no heads up for that. There's a vague thing. I don't know those things. What I'm frustrated is that I have no ability to use my powers when I want, and when it makes sense to use them, the story says, fuck you, no, even if you have the ability to do it. You could have just fed, and you can't use your powers, even if it would change the alter, and be the thing that your character would do, and would make sense, because the story says no. And that makes the story poorly written, and then, additionally, the fact that the story seems to have us all set on a thought process that even though there's 3 characters, you're still on the same rails. I think that's dumb, and it goes against the whole thing about the tweet with Erika Ishii, and that's why I brought that up, and why I had to kind of look back at what was I saying, why did I bring them up, what's going on. So yeah, it's just been such a consistent problem and annoyance, and I have a lot of things I like about the game, and more that I don't. I would just love to see a Vampire the Masquerade game made by the fans, and I'm not saying that people who made this weren't fans. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying it's a possibility, but maybe they didn't have the funding or the time or the resources or whatever, and that they focused on the things that they could and some things got way more focused on and spent more money on, and cool, but if you want people to replay your game, don't make it seem like you're on rails the entire time, every single time, without variation. Take a little bit of effort and alter the words, make them make sense. Don't just copy paste it. Make what I did make a thing. Yeah. But I would fucking love to see, a Vampire the Masquerade. Like, I don't know if Bloodlines 2 is ever going to come out. I would love to see a Bloodlines port. Just remaster that. Put it on console. Please. For the love of Cain, please do it. They're not gonna because legal issues. I get it. It is what it is. Stuff like that do be like that. I get it. There's Swan Song, which I have not heard good things of. I've watched half-heartedly a playthrough with Maven of the Eventide play it, and it's like I haven't really watched it too closely because it just doesn't seem like they're enjoying it, and it's just, I don't know. You know, asking somebody who's not a gamer, like requiring it because they're like, oh, well, we got Patreon and our Patreon tells they paid us to do it, so we're gonna do it. It's a vampire thing. We could be making other content, but this is like an easy content. Like if somebody buys you the game and then they pay you to play it and everybody's asking you to, you're at least safe to get a certain amount of views, and you know, I get it. What I would love to see is if this is just gonna be a fucking 30-minute segment of me just looking at the background, just ranting, and it's not even the fucking review part. If I were, you know, in charge of things and I got to make the next game, Erika Ishii, Maven of the Eventide, Paul, fucking, I think his name is Apollo on YouTube, or Apollo Speaks. Fuck, what's that other guy's name? He's Canadian, and he's very well... Fuck, I feel really bad for being like, that's the thing I remember about him. That's not great. He's very polite and cool. Fuck. I'm not gonna look up all my... I might remember it later, but... oh, the Maple Table. That's why I remember the Canadian thing. Okay, I feel a little better about it. Outstar, who I haven't heard from forever, which was... she was always so big on that, but I think she had a little child, and as a result, or maybe the algorithm just hasn't favored... I don't know. YouTube. I haven't heard much from them. There's a bunch of other really good, and I'm probably forgetting like at least 2 or 3 off the top of my fucking head that I would be like, oh yeah, no, I want them in this game, because they all care about it and they love it, and I would love them to be involved partially, not just as voice actors. That would be dope, and they should definitely, but also as like, not like lore check, but maybe, but also just to like help creatively guide it, so it doesn't have to... I think just make like a game that's like, no, it doesn't have modern graphics. It's like cheap. It's old. It's like deliberately retro. You know, like think of a remake, but it's not a remake. It's a new thing. You know, I would love them to remake VtMB, but I would also love them to make something like VtMB without all the glitches, without all the bullshit, but like that level of technology that can fit on that's like it's accessible more cheaply. Make it cheap. Maybe even fucking crowdfunded. Ideally not, but official or not, I don't care. Have a lot of these people who support that and be in it and want to be in it, like the other people from LA by Night, other people who love VtM, and other stuff, people who know about this stuff, and make a game that's like VtMB, like small, not graphically complicated, not super crazy powerful, interesting, but with more variety. People who love the thing, want to do the thing, all the best people, the people who fucking aren't part of VtMB 2 because creative differences or whatever the fuck happened that they were very vague about, like 3 or 4 real important people left. Mitsuda, I think, is one of them. I'm bad with names. Make that. Do that. Go with that. Make a smaller game, a cheaper game, more of an indie game, but for console too, so I can play it, please. And incorporate a bunch of the community, the people who make the mods. Boom, employed. People who do voice work like Erika Ishii, other YouTubers I've mentioned, like, let them all be part. Let them be like a main fucking character. You know? Like, give a voice to the main character. I'm confident. I can't speak. It's not like I tell people what to do or whatever. I think Erika Ishii, if you were like, hey, maybe like in other vampire games, you can't necessarily choose male or female. There's like, oh, you can pick this class, you know, and they're gonna be this gender or not, like, assigned at birth, thing. But, and like you can sort of like work with that, you know. Or it would be cool if everybody that was like part of it was dedicated to it and they had the money to like do both. But that is a lot of VO work. So it makes more sense that it would be like, this is that character, this is that character, this is that character. And you have like maybe 3 or 4 and you just got to deal with the clan you want, You just deal with the physical body you get. That's it. I don't know. But you do that similar concept as, the first VTM and, a small place, last gen graphics, if not farther. Cut out the bugs. If you really, really, really want to juice it up, let the mod community interact with it more so than just on PC. Like, have that be a thing that you can just, not like, I mean, I don't want to say this because I don't want them to do it, but like, it could help make the money back, like do DLC mods. It's like, oh, you want a mod where, you look like this person or you do this or whatever, it's legally distinct so it doesn't like get you sued, stuff like that. Like, even if it doesn't change certain things, like all sorts of stuff. There's so much available there. I would have been happy with so much. I like literally would have been happy if VTM just had like a side that was like, we didn't do VTM again and we didn't do 2. We did like 1.5, but not like, Kingdom Hearts did 1.5 and all that stuff. It's like, it's a new story, which it was there, but it's also not like a completely change of the thing. It's like the same basic gameplay, same basic thing, but a new story. You don't have to upgrade everything. Let people be like, I just want the nostalgia. I just want it to work. I don't want to have to play on computer. I don't need a PC. I don't want to need a PC to do it. And then include the community. Include all the modders, include all the coders, include all the voice actors, all the people who love this sort of stuff and want to work on it. Like, there's this whole YouTube community, like, deep dive into that. I'm sure a lot of them would do it for way cheaper than a lot of other people might, because they want to, and they might have more skills to help. They might want to help in other different ways, as a passion project, not one done for money. And then just do that and then release it for like half price, like $30 or something. And yeah, I think that would be an amazing project. I think that'd be great. I think, it doesn't have to be that big. I would hope the balancing would be a little better. But, and so you do need some people who actually know a lot about that sort of stuff, because that definitely didn't work in the first game. But you go with the flavor of the first game, people who love the first game, people who mod the first game, people who have this talent or that talent. Reach out to them. If you have to fucking Kickstarter it, I don't care. I would pitch in. I ain't got no money, but I would give in. I would give probably more. I would give till it hurt, just to hope. Because I mean, honestly, I didn't expect Onyx the Fortuitous and the the whatever it is, the Andrew Bowser movie to get made, but I gave till it hurt for that one. I had more to give then, but still, I didn't expect it to happen. I didn't want my money back. I just wanted it to happen, and I still haven't fucking seen that movie. It makes me sad. even though I've had opportunities and I failed because I suck or whatever, that's sort of on me, sort of on Sundance. Not important. The important is, I'd rather see that than this shit. This is poorly done. The artwork is great. The background is great. But the writing is not very good. And the storyline is not very good. The characters are decent, but you get thrown out of it so often because they just try to like run you through the same rails, and you have no freedom at all, and it's just, I don't know, maybe Shadows of New York was better. I haven't played it, haven't bought it, and I probably won't. I might if it's super cheap or free or something, but I'm surprised it got made after this. I think people just wanted this so bad that they didn't care. And I don't want it to be like that for Vampire the Masquerade anymore. I want it to be better. I want things to be like, we shouldn't just be happy that something exists at all, you know, in electronic media form for it. We should be more discerning and demanding. And again, I don't know the background shit. Maybe there's lots of reasons why this just turned out the way it did, and it could have been better and was supposed to. And I think latest I heard, VtM 2024 earliest possible release date. It's supposed to come out in like 21, 22 maybe? I don't know. Maybe in 2020? Fuck, man. That's crazy. Everything's, yeah. Anyway, I just want to see a bunch of the people I just mentioned in a game, participating in a game, doing the things, all the things I said. Make a game like that. Like, that would be awesome. I think that would be great, and I think it could be really... that would work, you know? And I don't think it'll ever happen because laws and IP rights and legality and blah, 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 but I'm pretty confident that a lot of the people I've mentioned would be down to be in a game and would work their asses off to do it, especially if they already know how that sort of shit works, just to make something they believe in. And it's not just this sort of thing, you know? You don't have to be modern and up to times. Sometimes you can go back. People will deal with the eye strain, you know? You don't have to have the nicest graphic thing. You can go back to something that's at least bearable for people's eyes, you know? And I think it will work. So that's my rant. I don't even know if I can even fucking include this or it would make sense. I'm not going to move forward because I spent so much time doing this. I don't know how much more story time I have. So, but yeah, I just think that's a game that would work. This one doesn't. I don't know if they made their money back, and if they did, it's probably because they didn't. Because the IP itself carries so much weight that people want it. We're hungry, we're thirsting, we're ravenous, we're, you know, about to enter fucking, you know, give in to the beast for it. And that this is all we have isn't good enough. And I think we should all just make that a point. Because I really, really, really wanted to like this. And I'm not saying it has no merits or value. I'm just saying, as a fan of the series, as a person who knows anything about this whole world, and maybe I'm behind and maybe I'm wrong, it's a disappointment in so many ways because I don't feel like it accurately represents it, and I cannot be the only person who feels that way. You know, so even for the type of game it's trying to be, it falls short of even my lowered expectations for it. That's what it achieves. The most impressive thing is the moving backgrounds. And again, I might be like crazy for seeing that, or maybe I'm just lucky as a Toreador that they did that this time and I didn't notice it last time, or maybe I did, I don't know. But Yeah, I'm gonna end my thing here because it's probably gone on for 30 minutes, and I actually do want to finish this fucking game so I can move the fuck on with my life. Don't neglect your jump button, and if anybody actually